Have you ever wondered if there is something hidden within you, a secret so deep that it connects every cell in your body to something much greater than yourself? And what if I told you that, right there, in the code that defines who you are, the signature of the one who created everything that exists might be inscribed? Our starting point is something that we all carry within us, in each of the trillions of cells that make up the human body. DNA. Did you know that DNA is composed of 4 chemical elements: hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon, and that, together, these components form the words that define who we are? But what few know is that there is something deeper hidden in this code, a pattern that some believe to be a signature of the Creator. For centuries, science and spirituality have been seen as opposites. But what if they aren't? And if DNA itself, the code of life, contains a message as ancient as time and so complex that to this day, science barely begins to understand it? Human DNA is the largest library of information we know. Each cell in our body contains this code, a sequence of more than 3 billion base pairs that determine everything, from the color of our eyes to the way our body reacts to the environment. But that's not all. Recently, scientists discovered something even more fascinating. DNA is not just a genetic manual. It holds mysteries that challenge our understanding. One of them? The possibility that it contains patterns, proportions, and orders that reflect something much greater, something that transcends our understanding. You might be thinking, what does this have to do with me? The truth is that we are not talking about something distant or abstract. We are talking about you, what makes you, you. And more than that, we are talking about a secret that connects you to something eternal, something divine. In the next few minutes, we will explore how the 4 basic elements of human DNA, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon, can reveal something surprising. Something that not only redefines how we see science, but also how we understand our purpose in this world. The answer to this mystery is closer than you think. And it will not only surprise you, it may change the way you see your life, your place in the universe, and your connection with the Creator. At the beginning, we talked about the possibility of a secret hidden within each of us, something so profound that it connects science and spirituality. Now it's time to delve deeper and understand how modern science brings us closer to this mystery. Did you know that DNA was discovered in 1869 by Friedrich Miescher, but it was only in 1953 that James Watson and Francis Crick described its famous double helix structure? Since then, our understanding of DNA has expanded incredibly. Today, we know that it is composed of 4 fundamental chemical elements: hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon. These elements form the bases that encode all life. Think of DNA as a book with billions of pages. Each letter of this book represents one of the 4 basic chemical compounds. Adenine, represented by the letter A, thymine, represented by the letter T, cytosine, represented by the letter C, guanine, represented by the letter G. These letters form words that instruct how each cell in the body functions. They determine who we are, physically, biologically, and even how we connect to the world around us. But the most surprising part is that even with all this complexity, 98% of human DNA is still considered non-coding. In other words, science still does not fully understand the purpose of much of what is in our genetic code. And if this non-coding, a part of DNA, were more than just biology, and if it pointed to something spiritual, something greater, something that science still cannot measure? Here comes the fascinating connection with spirituality. In various religious traditions, such as Judaism, the name of God is considered sacred and often represented by the Hebrew letters YHWH. Curiously, these same elements are present in every cell of our body, composing the DNA. This leads us to wonder, could the Creator have signed his work in a way that is within all of us? DNA, with its precision and complexity, is more than just a simple biological code. It is a reminder that life has purpose, order, and meaning. For some, it is tangible proof that there is an intelligence behind creation. But what about you? What do you think of this connection? Science and spirituality are really as separate as we think, or do they walk side by side, revealing the same truth in different ways? In the next few minutes, we will explore how these elements can transform our view of who we are and what it means to be connected to the Creator. Don't go anywhere. If you are enjoying this journey between science and spirituality, subscribe to the channel to keep following. Leave your like and share this video with someone who would also like to discover more about the mystery of life. And of course, we want to hear your opinion. Leave a comment below saying what has caught your attention the most so far. Over the centuries, the name of God has always evoked fascination and reverence. In many spiritual traditions, he is known by different names, but one of them is unique, YHWH, the so-called sacred tetragrammaton. This name, considered sacred, is not just a title. It encapsulates the idea of existence in its purest essence, he who is, who was, and who is to come. A name that transcends time and space. The name YHWH first appeared in ancient Hebrew texts, such as the Torah, and was revealed to Moses, according to tradition, more than 3,000 years ago. When Moses asked God what his name was, the answer was clear. I am who I am, a phrase that captures the idea of self-existence, something no other entity can claim. This name is not just a word, but a symbol of eternity and creation. And it is curious how these 4 letters reflect something much greater, something that connects the divine to the physical world. Now here is the most interesting part. The same elements that make up DNA, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon, can be symbolically associated with the 4 letters of the name YHWH. Of course, this is a symbolic interpretation, but it makes us reflect. Could it be a coincidence that the elements that sustain life correspond to the letters of the divine name? Or is it a reminder that we are intrinsically connected to the Creator? The name YHWH is not just about the divinity, it also reflects our identity. By being connected to these elements, we are reminded that each of us carries a fragment of this divine signature. This means that, regardless of who we are or where we come from, there is something eternal that unites us. In the words of ancient scriptures, we are made in the image and likeness of the Creator. This is not just a spiritual metaphor, it is a truth deeply rooted in our own biology. But what does this really mean for us today? How can this connection with the divine name transform the way we see life, purpose, and even each other? Let's explore these questions in the next part of this journey. And if you are enjoying this conversation, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. That way you won't miss anything that's coming up. Leave your comment below as well. What did you think of this connection between DNA and the divine name? We want to know your opinion. Have you ever imagined that DNA can be more than just a biological code? That in addition to organizing life, it can tell a bigger story? DNA is often described as the language of life. But let's think about it. Literally, just like in any language, DNA has symbols, sequences, and instructions. These chemical letters, adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine, are combined in specific ways to create everything that exists in the human body. To put this in perspective, the human genome contains more than 3 billion base pairs. If we wanted to write the DNA of a single human cell as a book, it would take more than 1,000 volumes, with about 1,000 pages each. But the most intriguing part? Even with all this information, 98% of human DNA is considered non-coding. This means that most of our genome does not directly create proteins. For some scientists, this is still an enigma, and for others, it is an opportunity to explore what we still do not understand about our origin and purpose. And this is where a deeper reflection comes in. What can non-coding DNA mean beyond biology? Would it be just a coincidence or a space for something more significant? Recent studies suggest that DNA is not just a random sequence, but may contain complex mathematical patterns, similar to those found in other parts of nature, such as galaxies or the design of a shell. For some, this reflects order and intelligence, evidence of intentional creation. Think about it. The same mathematical balance that forms distant galaxies is also present in every cell of your body. Doesn't that suggest a creator who used a universal language to design both the cosmos and life? More than a biological code, DNA can be seen as an invitation to reflect on our purpose. It reminds us that we are part of something much greater, a unique design in a vast and harmonious universe. When we understand that our biology carries a divine signature, it transforms the way we see life. Each person, with their uniqueness, is part of this great story written by the Creator. And now, we need to explore something even deeper. How does this divine language connect us not only to the Creator, but also to each other? How can DNA be the key to understanding our unity as humanity? If you've made it this far, thank you very much for following us. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. And of course, we want to know your opinion. What do you think about the idea that DNA can be more than just science? Leave your comment below. When we look at the world, the differences between us seem evident: cultures, languages, histories. But what happens when we look more closely within ourselves? What we discover is something extraordinary. We all share the same fundamental code, DNA. In genetic terms, the difference between any person on the planet is only 0.1%. Think about it. All the diversity we see in the world is built on a practically identical foundation. This unity is not just a scientific curiosity, it is a powerful reminder that we are more connected than we imagine. Our DNA, the very language of life, is a reflection of this connection, not only with other human beings, but also with the Creator Himself. It's as if DNA were an invisible thread that traverses time and space, uniting us with something much greater: the perfect design of creation. And if our DNA, in addition to connecting us to the Creator, also reminded us of our role in humanity, this complex structure that defines us is, at the same time, an invitation to see others as part of ourselves. We are not just isolated individuals. Each cell in our body bears the mark of a Creator who values unity, interdependence, and harmony. This perspective challenges us to live with more compassion, to see beyond differences, and to seek what unites us, not what separates us. DNA, this divine signature within each of us, is much more than a set of biological instructions. It is a silent reminder that we were created with a greater purpose, to live in unity, in peace, and with meaning. And perhaps, by understanding this connection, we can begin to build a world more aligned with the intention of our Creator. What did you think of this idea? Had you thought of DNA as a reflection of our unity with the Creator and with each other? Leave your comment below. We really want to know your opinion. And of course, if you are enjoying this series, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with someone who also needs to hear this message. Let's spread this idea of unity and purpose together. Throughout this journey, we explored how DNA, the essence that defines who we are, can contain something much deeper, a reflection of divine intention. But the big question is, how can we Reconnect with this Creator and rediscover the purpose He gave us. Reconnecting does not just mean recognizing the science behind creation or the beauty of the world around us. It means looking within, to the essence of who we are, and realizing that there is a divine presence that has always been there, waiting for us. This reconnection begins within each of us. It is an invitation to slow down, reflect, and understand that despite the imperfections and challenges of life, we were made with a purpose. For some, this may mean exploring spirituality through prayer, meditation, or even moments of silence. For others, it is in action, compassion, and caring for others that they find this connection. When we realize that DNA is not just a biological code, but a reminder that we carry the mark of the Creator, our perspective changes. Each of us is part of a greater plan, like unique pieces of a puzzle that only make sense when seen as a whole. This perception invites us to live with more intentionality. The question is not just, who am I, but what can I do to live according to this greater purpose? The reconnection with the Creator is, above all, a journey of transformation, both personal and collective. When we choose to align ourselves with this greater truth, we not only find meaning in our own lives, but also help bring light to the world around us. Now it's up to you. How do you choose to respond to this call? How can the understanding that we carry the Creator's signature transform the way you live and connect with others? Leave your comment below and share your journey with us. We really want to know how this message resonated with you. On this journey, we explored more than just science or spirituality. We went beyond what is visible to dive into a truth that connects us to something much greater. Inside each cell, in the DNA that defines us, there is a reflection of the Creator, a signature that reminds us who we are and why we are here. We are more than atoms and molecules. We are a unique combination of purpose and meaning. And the big question that remains is, how do we choose to live with this understanding? DNA, with all its complexity and perfection, teaches us that life is not an accident. We are pieces of a masterful design, placed here to reflect the beauty and order of creation. Each of us carries a fragment of this universal truth, a living proof that life has a greater purpose. As we go about our lives, may we remember that the same force that sustains the universe also lives within each of us. We are a unique expression of an eternal and loving Creator. And just as DNA is in every cell, the divine purpose is in all things. Just look closely to find it. Thank you very much for staying with us until now. Your presence makes all the difference. If this message touched you in any way, don't hesitate to share your thoughts in the comments. And if you wish to continue exploring themes like this, subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, and like this video. Together, we can continue discovering the wonders of the Creator and the purpose in our lives.